Hello, welcome to Sacred Soulmates, hosted by Goddess Euphoria. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoy the reading. We always pull a chakra card if you don't know, and I speak, in future terms because I fully intend to grow this channel. But we pull a chakra card, and today we got the solar plexus. And what is highlighted about the solar plexus is enlightenment, which is right there with solar plexus territory. Your intuition. When you get that nudge and you just go with it and you trust it and you trust your first mind, or they say follow your first mind. And that's what I'm getting here. Someone is learning to follow their first mind. Coming into your own is really the energy. Someone's coming into their own with the Four of Pentacles, standing on their worth, standing on value. And that comes from a lot of experience. You have so much experience with just life itself. Or if you are in a certain industry, you're standing on your experience and asserting your will, following your will. You are the master of your will at this point. Things go the way you want it to go. Or that is the energy that someone is stepping in, or your counterpart is stepping in, your divine counterpart. I'm kind of getting the energy of, it's like a counterpart who maybe wasn't as, I guess, spiritually enlightened or aware of things around them. And it's something like them having to sit for a minute, having the time to sit somewhere and sit still and kind of go over and ruminate and deal with things that a lot of people don't deal with. When you always are on the go, you're a go-getter, sometimes you miss some things. I'm getting a Sagittarian energy with that. Somebody who has been on the go, they may have jumped off the porch early. They may have had to take care of a lot of things at a young age, and recently found themselves in a position where they had to sit for a bit, whether it be something like COVID. I guess that could be considered recent, where somebody is still dealing with so a lot of people retired around COVID, I'll say that, or they started working from home or started a business during COVID and just chose to never go back to that 9 to 5 grind. So that's what I mean by that. But in a space where you can sit and pay attention to your life story, where you can sit and really start journaling. I'm hearing someone has started journaling, or you have one of those books that give you prompts and stuff, like a daily devotional type thing, where you're able to reflect. Someone has been in a lot more reflective mood, a lot of reminiscent type of energy here, and things are starting to come back to them. In the second video that I posted on this channel about soulmates versus twin flames, and what's the difference, it just slipped my mind. It just slipped my mind just that quick. It's like a racing thoughts energy just kind of came through. I was looking at the Three of Wands card, and that racing thoughts energy just came through. Remembrance. I knew it was going to come back to me, but that's crazy. I guess that's the energy. Someone just, you always having so much to do that things just slip your mind. But in that soulmate versus twin flame video that I do, or that I did, I posted the second video on this channel. I talked about that remembrance, getting to a point where you can finally be stress-free enough, or where you are tapped in enough to, universal consciousness, or just into your intuition enough to be able to remember. And this is the energy of somebody who is finally remembered from being able to sit for a time and think back over the course of their life, being able to understand how things played out, why things played out. I'm looking at the cityscape behind this person at the Four of Pentacles. If someone just moved to a new city, then that may be the kind of, it may feel like a timeout, or you may feel like you're in a bit of an isolation just because you don't know as many people yet, especially if you moved by yourself, or if there's a couple who moved to a different location, then it's a bit of isolation for now, just because you are getting to know new people. That gives you time to kind of look over things and remember things, and just kind of, you see how the temperance angel is moving the water from cup to cup, just kind of finally digesting things and finally just ruminating is what I'm getting. It's really feeling like a retrograde type energy. I didn't check my Astro app anytime recently, so I don't know if there's like some type of retrograde coming up with Mercury. But that's kind of that mind slipping thoughts is coming there. So also Gemini and Virgo energy is relevant because of that mercurial energy that keeps wanting to pop in. It's causing them to hold people around them to higher standards. So if you're around people that you're already familiar with, then that's just like holding people to higher standards because you are asserting your will now. If you're not around people and you are in kind of that, you're in a new place, you're in a bit of isolation just because you don't know many people yet, it's like you have standards raised about the type of people that you want to interact with. Or you don't want to just go into like, say a club or bars and meet people. You're starting to look for like meetup groups or, something like Facebook groups that have local divisions and they schedule meetups is that type of energy. And that could actually be the way someone meets a soulmate. So that's highlighted there. There's a higher purpose for this because there is something that needed to be uncovered. It's like it's something that's been going on for a long time, and it may have been like right up under your nose, because when I'm talking about soulmates, I talk about things like a lot of times the person who is like the ideal complementary pair for you, your soulmate, they match your light in a good way, in a balanced way, not in some traumatic, you still gotta, go through trauma to learn type bullshit. Like really sacred union. It happened again. Who don't want me to give a message? That Seven of Swords, because I was just about to say something about somebody. It's important that you have a place to sit and ruminate because you need to see the bigger picture. It's like the importance of this whole reading is that someone is now able to see the bigger picture, like things that you're just not paying attention to because you're just going along to get along, or you're just keeping your head down, grinding to get where you want to be. If that's the case for someone who may have possibly moved to a new place, it's like it takes a lot of work, to just uproot your life and relocate somewhere else. So in the time that you finally sit down and start to settle in your, place in your home and feel like you've come into your own wherever you are, over that time you may have had a lot of things that pop back up that maybe you had tucked it away. Maybe it wasn't, maybe you were too busy at the time to handle it the way it needed to be handled at the time, or you had too much going on to be able to address things directly in the moment. A lot of times, people do slick shit, say slick shit, and you just kind of, because in the moment you really just don't have the energy or the time or attention to give to them. But then sometimes, you got enough time, space, and opportunity to be with the smoke, because that's kind of what I'm getting is things are coming to the light here. Something that's been going on for a long time that maybe someone was just so busy that they never just paid attention to it. And you can be so on your grind, especially when you about that rat race hamster wheel type life, that you don't tend to the important things, like things of the spirit. Because first and foremost, before anything human, before anything capitalistic, before anything Hallmark card, romantic lovey-dovey, we are spirits. And if you ain't got that spirit right, if you haven't hit that enlightenment, you're going to be missing a lot. But somebody has finally found the time and the space and opportunity to sit with their intuition and to really write down the things that they want, or basically they will, to have in their life. And over the course of this, just, going back over things and looking at the experiences you've had in life and the people that you've met, the situations you've been in, somebody is finding like a common thread. So this is like pattern recognition. And a lot of time that does come from an enlightened, an open, a balanced solar plexus chakra. Because the solar plexus chakra, solar, you are, one moment. Okay. Yeah. Where was I? It's so many distractions. You see how this whole reading usually, and I know I ain't got but a couple up on this channel, but if you've been to my other channel, 828 Prophecies, spirit be pouring out of me. So it's like hiccups, a lot of hiccups. Maybe if you were, busy grinding and stuff, maybe you were able to overlook the hiccups. But when you finally do get to where you want to be and you get the time to settle down, it's like you go back to looking over those hiccups, and it's It's something about people doing things that they thought were low. You know what I'm saying? You think you low with it. You think you were smart, or you tried to get something over on me. You tried to, have your way and handle me in some type of way. That's the type of energy that I'm getting. But all deceptive behavior is being revealed. Yes, solar plexus, soul, or solar, soul, like the sun, soul, SOL, soul. Once you're awakened, you can tap into, wisdom that maybe you did not have as you were out physically in the moment, doing, building, creating. Someone maybe like thinking about all the ways that they invested money, or people that they may have given out money to over the years, and deciding that, you know what, with this new lifestyle, I've relocated, maybe got a new job, higher salary, or started a new business, better circumstances, to kind of play on the back of that conversation earlier about people who started working from home during COVID. It's like the conditions that you have started to tap into are better. They're more ideal with the Four of Pentacles. Like, you feel more comfortable, better conditions, better benefits package, health insurance. It's like things that make you feel stable. You have stability now, and in the place of being able to be stable, a lot of enlightenment is coming. You're able to see like the true character of people. You may be able to spot how, like, twin flame situations that you dealt with were just fractions of, your truly illuminated partner. That's that illuminated being. That's where they get that Illuminati from. But it's just, being tapped into your solar plexus, asserting your will and seeing things play out the way you will it to happen, because you're not afraid to trust your intuition. Someone's experience with being able to rebuild after things are maybe, distracted or interrupted. Like, let's say you are on a great path, you have a great pace, you're making, day by day, you're making good progress. And then it's like things would come and just like come and distract you and throw you off. And it seems like that may have been a pattern that someone is becoming enlightened to. And they're just looking back over the course of their life, and maybe the people that they were hanging with, or the relationships that they would pay their time and energy and focus into, and seeing how a lot of deceptive practices have not been good for them. And so you're making better choices with the Judgment. You're holding people to a higher standard. You were able to like figure something out, or figure someone out quicker than they thought you would be able to figure them out. At the bottom of the deck, there's the Knight of Wands. You've been able to figure somebody out. And usually they are able to, just come in and get what they want, strip people of, whatever they want, whatever energy they want, and then they can dip off. And you've been able to figure that out. So you don't want to deal with that type of person anymore if like are single, or, what I'm saying, I don't know, in situationships, but actually looking for someone. Let's say you're dating, but you're really looking for like that one. You're at that place of your life where you want that stability, and that includes like a stable everyday partner, finding your person. For those who are in a relationship already, it's like something is coming out. Maybe your counterpart gives you a piece of missing information, like some information that you didn't have, and it helps you to have a bigger picture of what's going on, or what was going on when maybe you were just grinding, and you just didn't have the time or energy to be able to give to distractions. But I'm getting the energy of like people really, really, really wanting to distract you for some reason. And that is coming to the light. With that Seven of Swords and that Judgment, someone's deception is definitely about to come to the light, or already has started coming to the light. What they did may have not been as clean, as they thought it was. They may not be as sly and slick as they think they are. Because the real truth. Somebody is seeing the real truth about someone. If it's like a twin flame situation where someone keeps running in and out, you may get information about what they're doing when they're out there. Or if this is, people who were in separation, like soulmates who were having a separation because of exterior circumstances, nothing traumatic or nothing messy. You're just finding out some information about what was happening to your person while you all were away. And with soulmates, a lot of things that happen, like if you have that type of situation where you meet your soulmate early in life and then you don't have that remembrance until you actually go through your own awakening, that person that you were meant to be with, I'm sure they had a lot of things happen to them the same way you would have had a lot of things happen to you. Because if you come across your soulmate and then y'all don't get together, that longing is still there. That electricity between the two of you is still there, and it establishes a gravitational pull. So when twin flames start coming in and there's things about this twin flame that remind you of your soulmate, that's where it's coming from. It's like your soulmate's energy is still there. The gravitational pull won't let it break. It's like a soul tie. But the twin flame will come in with a whole bunch of bullshit, and before you know it, you'll just completely forget about. That's that distraction energy that I was getting. Like you just completely forgot about your person, or who should have been your person. And the person who would have been your person is not like they did anything wrong to you. It's just like exterior circumstances. Maybe they were just having to rip and run. They could have come up in a home where things were not stable, and like I said, maybe they had to jump off the porch early and do a whole lot, so they didn't have time to be in like a romantic state where they're thinking about settling down with a soulmate or something. I'm getting a lot of like funds were low, funds were tight, someone not having enough, or growing up in an environment where there was a lot of lack. And so while you out just doing whatever you can to, I guess, break that generational curse or to make circumstances better for yourself and for your family, sometimes things can just fall by the wayside. And then when you do start to get a little bit of stability and stuff, then you can remember who your person is. But then there's always that, I guess, danger or whatever of a twin flame hopping in, kind of trying to run in and trying to interrupt something. But I'm getting with this, somebody already knows who you are. So whoever this person is that thinks they finna just run in and, come sit in your shoes, is not happening, because you've already claimed them. You have already claimed your shoes. Your role is already, assigned to you. The job is already taken. The winner already won. Already won. It's like that type of energy. So whoever this person is trying, run in at the last moment, and the moon is right up underneath it. Trying to run in at the last moment and trying to be sneaky. That deception energy is coming back around. This may be like the energy of somebody who likes to deflect. So between soulmates, like if you haven't gotten together and the electricity is still there, like when you awaken to who it is and you remember who it is and you start thinking back on the memories and kind of wondering why didn't we make it happen when we could have made it happen, and then you realize there were certain circumstances. Maybe a lot of those challenging circumstances were orchestrated by like deceptive people, deceptive energies, deceptive people. And it's like you're in a position now of like a higher frequency where you can look back and see all of that. You can see exactly where somebody was lying. Like one of my favorite things to say to people who have a deceptive fucking tongue, just deceitful people, I was like, you was either lying then or you lying now. That's my favorite way to press a liar. Either you were lying then or you lying now, because there's a contradiction in what you said. Same subject, same conversation, same situation, but you said two different things. You was lying then or you lying now. Which one is it? And whether they pick a choice, like that's the kind of question you can just say yes to. Either you was lying then or you lying now. Yes. You just a liar. It don't matter when it was, but you have that deceptive trait in you where you'll just tell a lie about something just to get what you want right there in that moment. And it's like somebody wants your counterpart's attention. Or if you don't have one yet, you can't think of anyone that you know about. I'm just saying though, if you can't think of somebody like right off bat right now, maybe you need to go a little deeper in your journey, because a lot of times, most of the time, they be right down to your nose. I think there's some type of statistic, like people who, of all the couples who got married, by the time they were married, it was someone that they had met by the time they were like 20 something, in their mid-20s, they already knew this person. Like a lot of couples, people who may have went to school together and never had a relationship, meet each other again in adulthood and end up man and wife. Or people who went to college and you probably didn't even have classes together. You just knew them as a face around campus, and y'all just happened to be in the same city at the same time, someplace far off in the future, and boom, sparks happen. So something about that relocation, you relocating, you may be catching up with someone that you knew from a past life, which just means like a more youthful, younger chapter of your life. But it's like the energy of finally being able to see exactly why things couldn't come together. Like it being more than just, well, I had a lot going on, and at the time I couldn't just focus on love. No, we get that, but what is that lot that was going on? Like, and who was involved in giving you the distractions and putting you in a kind of like a grinding place where you feel like you just got to work, and they're taking you away from that spiritual alignment to be able to reunite or create a union with your soulmate at the time. I feel like I'm talking around something, but what I'm talking around is like somebody who's good at deflecting. This is the type of person that they're gonna run from truth. You see with the Seven of Swords, there's always somebody got their back turned, but they holding all the swords, but they back turned. Like somebody just looks suspicious. If you feel that energy around someone in your life, bingo, that's they part of it. If they're not the one who orchestrated, like, external circumstances that took your attention off your spiritual connection with the person who is truly, gonna love you right. Whoever that person is, they don't like to take responsibility for nothing. They'll throw the rock and hide their hand, and tell lies here and there, and thinking that it's just okay. Whatever it takes to save face, this person will do it. And they are a distraction. And they like to play mental games, Seven of Swords. To get whatever it is that they want, they will tell all the lies. They will do a whole bunch of gossiping. They will slander people's character. But it's that enlightenment. The enlightenment along with that judgment card is like it just don't work. It can't work with two people who are, tapped in inwardly. Y'all pulling up to the relationship as two wholes. Two whole beings, two holy spirits. But someone maybe started to realize things slower than their counterpart. Because of the little boy right here, I'm feeling like whoever it was that is starting to awaken to certain things that got in their way, they're starting to see a pattern. Whenever things don't go their way, they're seeing a pattern in how the people around them behave, how their body language may change, how the words they say may change, how their stories will change, how their perspectives will change. Like I'm getting the energy of somebody like retelling a story, or recalling a memory, and as they're telling you about what happened, the tone of what they said in that moment changes to fit whatever situation they're in the moment that they're telling the story. I guess to give an example, if it's stupid, this is just what I'm thinking of. I'm saying Brandy and Monica, so something about a fight over the boy is mine. So if somebody, back in the day, they would come and, be all nice and, hey girl, hey friend. But then when they talk about you to someone, fast forward, y'all never fell out. You never did nothing to this person. But as they retell the story, they'll be like, yeah, they used to always come up and be like, hey girl, hey friend. And I used to just be looking at them crazy, knowing damn well that they were the one doing all the hey girl, hey friend. So it's like projection, and somebody's story keep changing. But with the judgment here, it's like being called out, because sometimes a person be so much of a liar, they would never tell you the truth. So you have to wait on God to actually expose their ass in front of everybody. And it's something about a lie or a deceptive person that is being exposed right now. and it's helping someone understand maybe the hiccups or the slips, the backtrack. Somebody want me to shut up, but I won't. Whoever this person is, like, they don't ever want to talk about anything up front. They always deflect, or they'll play victim, or I just can't. I can't do this. When somebody have a meltdown, when you confront them face to face about something that they did, the fact that they had a meltdown, that's their lying ass spirit that they have no control over, and they don't have a good heart, so they're not able to ascend out of that energy. They're a runner. Like, somebody will run away from real conversations, and that may be a blessing to you, because we don't celebrate or justify any of that twin flame bullshit over here. The reason why this energy is coming out is because this very situation could be exactly why your counterpart is choosing you over whoever they just dealt with. Or that's why the person that you are going to meet will fancy you more than this person that they just got finished figuring out. Like, when you finally see all of the lies that a liar spun, the web of deception that they spun, it's disgusting. And you don't ever want to deal with people who you recognize that pattern in ever again. So when you eliminate a whole group of people who have that certain characteristic, then you do get closer to finding your soulmate, because you have a clear path now. You are now asserting your will, setting up boundaries. You are shedding light on what it is that you want. So the universe can't do nothing but follow your example and shed light on people who don't fit your standards, because you're seeing that pattern in them. Somebody is like a habitual liar, or someone has been in so many relationships with lying people that it's like they're completely adverse to it. I don't want to deal with it. If I catch you in a lie, I don't want nothing. If you seem like the type who will just say whatever to get what you want, I don't want nothing to do with you. Somebody is very cut and dry. With that Knight of Wands, somebody will get gone quick. Especially with the moon behind it, they will ride off into the sunset on your ass. Or they will let, the sun set on a situation real quick if they find that lying spirit in you. And whether it's you who feels that way or your counterpart who feels that way. And whether y'all already together and you both are just making sure, no, we recognize that shit. We've been through it. We've had the distractions that tried to pull us away from each other. And now we together and we not letting nothing come in between. So y'all don't even entertain people who come with that mess. Or you don't even entertain people who maybe you tell the woman something and then you tell the male something different. Because that's another iteration of this energy too. Especially for those soulmates who are already together. People will come and they'll say one thing in front of the woman and then say another thing in front of the man, so that the two people, that's how they plan on inserting a seed of confusion within that relationship. People be really bold and audacious with the deceptive spirit. It's so ugly out here. People are so ugly. The Judgment Day went out, and because it wasn't some theatrical rapture like they teach you in church, people thought that they just got away scot-free. And it's all just a matter of God waiting for the perfect time and place to pull your card, waiting for the perfect person to walk into your life, waiting for you to try one of his anointed or try one of his, ordained relationships, one of his sacred soulmate unions, waiting on you to try to do something against it so that you can be exposed in the most painful, embarrassing way. And it's like the counterparts here, divine feminine, divine masculine, you have stability, whether you're single or y'all are already together. You have enough stability, and you don't have to be in the place that you want to be in life right now. That's not what I mean. It's like you're not a slave to $1 is what I mean. It's like you have enough to get you through. You know how to get by. You know how to do what it is that you need to do. So you ain't in no state of lack. You ain't in no state of wanting. You feel connected. You feel connected. You feel the light. You see God's light. You see the universe blessing you according to the work of your hands. You're receiving what you need to receive. It don't matter if other people think you need more. You have exactly what you need, and more is coming because you have a state of gratitude. I'm getting a shepherd of little. So you're a good shepherd. You're someone who don't need a whole lot, but you're gonna take care of what it is that you got. And that's another trait that is endearing you to someone else who may have, been the type of person who would just lie and say whatever to get what they want. But yeah, who is who? Who's who? Something about maybe somebody used to be on like honor roll, or really smart in school, and somebody that may be one of the key features about you that someone is remembering, that you always, like kept it real, or people who, you have a lot of people that be in high positions but they not that smart, a la the president. But then you have those who really are like intellectual, like smart people. And a lot of time they don't be the ones out front. They don't be the loudest person. They be the one who play the back, because they don't do the politics. They don't do the theatrics. It should be very simple, very straight to the point, like with truly intellectual people. It'd be the people who don't really have much going on, the ones who be doing all that lying. It'd be the ones who don't really have any inner substance, the ones who do all that deception and shit. And somebody is able to see this right now. They had just enough time to be able to sit down and think about things and come to some solid conclusions about who's real and who's fake in their life. Or a couple has been through enough with people coming in and trying to pose distractions and trying to deflect, or trying to plant seeds of confusion in y'all's relationship. You've had enough of that, so now you recognize it off the bat, so you can make the judgment for yourself. And judgment just is balanced discernment. You, him, or both of y'all are able to see things from a balanced place. You're able to discern from a balanced place. And when you have that ability, you tapped into your intuition, so you're enlightened. I'm getting something about some information coming to a person that they didn't even go looking for. It ain't like you set out to find, well, who was it that da-da-da. Like, I don't feel that kind of victim mentality. Like, who was it that did something to me? It ain't that. It's just you work so hard, and finally you got a space to just chill and rest your mind. And then the things that you had kind of packed away, they can naturally begin to process. But over the course of this, like, processing, it's helping you set the standards on what you will and what you won't accept going forward. It's like once you done been through the grind and the struggle, and you finally get yourself settled, it's certain things you're just not gonna go for ever again. There's no situation a person can put you in. There's not enough lack in the world. Can't nobody take nothing else from you at that point when you become enlightened, because you can just get that back. You can go and work for more money, especially if you have the skills, and you've earned the skills over the course of, temperance card, over the course of life. Your experiences culminate in like this whole being who can assert your own will, because you know what you stand for. You know what you won't stand for. And it's not just theory, it's practice. This is what you've done in life. Off that porch, you know what you're gonna go for, and you know what you're not gonna go for. And somebody is the more you go through, the higher your standards get. I'll say it that way. Somebody at this point, they just want to keep it plain and simple. They don't want to have to keep looking over their back, wondering if this person lying to me. Oh, somebody just ready. Somebody ready for that real soul connection where they don't have to keep, they don't have to do it. Or if y'all already together, if y'all already are together, then it's that being non-negotiable. You will not negotiate with somebody who comes in and tries to drive a wedge between you and your soulmate. You may be social and like to, have a lot of people around, or, do kickbacks at your house, spades nights and stuff like that. But you will start like dwindling down on the company. And for the pairs who are already together, I am getting like maybe they're starting to restrict who they let through their doors. Shit becoming real out here. You starting to see people's real ways. The shit, the space is telling on people. They ain't even got to open their mouth and confess. You'll get the news some kind of way. When they say a little birdie told me, it literally be like that. Like some random shit will happen and you'll get the answer you've been looking for. A bird go and perch the right way near the right hot dog stand, and there's some writing on that hot dog stand and give you the answer that you was looking for. You be like, I'll be damn. So a lot of people, they don't have to do all that confession, all that confessing. They ain't gonna want to do it no way. Deflecting. That I can't believe that it did it like 3 times in this reading where I just couldn't remember what I was about to say. It's like somebody just, as soon as you want to address something, they want to hop in front of it. No, well, no, well, like somebody will overtalk you because they are too afraid to hear truth. That's how much they hate truth. That's how much of a lying ass spirit they have. They'll just start playing and making a whole bunch of noise so they don't have to hear the truth about themselves. It's so childish. It's so low vibrational. And I'm glad that you all are setting the standards to keep people like that the fuck out of y'all face. Because that's a toxic person. They probably don't have no good relationships in their own life. They just want to come in and run out and see what they can get from another person because they don't have no enlightenment for themselves. They be in all type of twin flame situations and all type of ghetto shit, having the police called out to their house, DV situations. And I'm not saying that, I'm not saying nothing, accusing nobody or nothing, but a lying spirit that want to play the victim and want to deflect. Sometimes it be the person that's calling the police who's the liar. It's the person who's calling the police and crying that they did such and such to me. Yeah, they probably should have choke slammed your ass 2 years ago. So, I stay out of folk business when it come to that. When it come to that type of relationship drama, I stay out of people's business because in a real way, that's exactly what I be talking about. Soulmate unions don't have all that. If y'all got all that back and forth and somebody keep getting beat up and da-da-da and blase, twin flame connection, y'all really don't belong together. But neither one of you are bold enough to do the work on yourselves so that you can stand on your own square and go your own way until you reunite with the person or until you meet the person who is genuinely aligned with you. Well, yeah, we have it where things are coming to the light because someone has stepped into their own light. But there's a partner who may have stepped into it a little slower than the other partner. Usually it's the feminine who becomes enlightened first because that's just feminine energy. Feminine is spirit, masculine is physical. So, one may have taken a little longer than the other, but they got it or they'll get it. When I say they'll get it, maybe y'all aren't together already, but they starting to pick up what you're putting down. If you already have them in mind and you pray for this person, you know who this person is, they feel it. Their intuition is picking up because you're sending energy in a loving way directly at their solar plexus so that intuitively they remember you, or intuitively they pick up and feel a warmth coming from you. And they're able to identify that it's you. That's what I talk about, that remembrance. It's an intuitive thing, and that's something that, involves your solar plexus. Along with that awakening, the one who awakened first may be the one who kind of put the other person onto game about the type of patterns that a deceptive person shows, or their, deflection tactics, narcissistic traits and all of that, or just downright wicked ways. I'm also getting that it's like a feminine who's putting a man onto game about how these females behave, these karmic females are. And that's delivering him with the 3 of Wands and the Temperance. That's delivery. Like holy delivery. You're helping somebody to be able to see through the bullshit so that they can eliminate the people who keep, distracting them or keep trying to, take their mind off of their relationship with the Most High. Or whatever it is that you believe in. Or if you don't believe, in anything, somebody just trying to take you off a positive pathway. They're trying to take you off of a positive frequency, and maybe you were able to relay that information to a counterpart in a way that they're able to see it for themselves when they think back, dang, that didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, and this person was always around me at that point in my life. And the type of behaviors that my counterpart is talking about, they used to do that. Light bulb go off. Boom, enlightenment. So exchanges of information are highlighted here, which is amazing. Pattern recognition is highlighted here. Starting to trust your instinct and therefore your intuition. And along with that intuitive awakening is the twin flame remembrance. I mean, not the twin flame, the soulmate. It's a twin flame. Somebody play with like that shit. Let's say that somebody play with that, like a mentalist witch type stuff, like planning ideas and manipulation and, negging. Somebody read them books, them little pamphlets that they pass out in them communities. Y'all know what I'm talking about. you know, how to break a bitch, how to make a woman do anything you want her to do. They read them little ebooks and shit. Somebody do that weird lame ass shit like that. Google how to make a woman believe you really love her. Or for women, they in that old sprinkle community, trying to figure out how can I get the most money from a man without giving up. Them kind of people. It's that type of energy who keep trying to like jump in and insert themselves in a situation to cause division between a soulmate, a sacred soulmate union. And you just got to know that that's always going to happen until the time when the rapturing is finished. When the rapturing of these people and they are assigned to their correct places, sent to hell where they need to go, or go through purgatory, whatever God got planned for them. You're going to always have that, because people who are miserable, they want company. But it's already highlighted here that people are watching the company they keep. Or if it's a couple already together, they getting away from bad company and making sure in this new place that they're in, they holding new company to higher standards. It's just somebody ain't going for that. The divine ain't going for that. That means we, the soulmate counterparts, we not going for that. We see how people move in the dark. We see how they try to, skirt and dip out when it's time to be held accountable for something. We see how they try to play like they wasn't the one. I ain't really say it. I ain't say it like that. Or they'll retell the story and add shit that didn't ever happen. Say things about people that people did not say, or, mention stuff that ain't got nothing to do with the situation. It's just a lot of confusion. It's a whole lot of confusion. You see, this is my longest video on this channel yet. And it's like, to pinpoint this person, you got to really, I'm getting like a spider that like to jump when you go to kill it, because that's associated with those webs. Somebody like weave a lot of webs of deception. And that could be the very reason you just don't deal with a certain type of person no more. And that leaves you closer and closer, inching closer to your soulmate if you don't have them yet. If you're already with them, or y'all working on getting back together, or you're already getting these intuitive clues that you and this person are, dreaming about one another, or, it just, the synchronicities. If y'all ain't really even had the talk yet, or maybe y'all just started dating, so you don't want to like pressure it too much. You're getting those signs that, yes, this is it. Stay on this path. But, it's going to always be a bitch trying to insert themselves. And, a bitch can be a man or a woman, The standards are heightened, though. You recognize the patterns, and people are not dealing with it. It's a time of enlightening and discerned, balanced discernment. If it got to be an issue where you're trying to address something with somebody and they keep running all off and deflecting and stuff like that, just go and nip it in the bud. Just go and throw that label on them. Go ahead and judge them as a whole bold-faced liar and keep it moving. Don't keep doing that back and forth trying to understand, well, what did they mean? Or when exactly were you lying? Yes, they were lying. That's all you need to know. If they lied once, they'll do it again. If they bullshit you once, they'll do it again. In that type of way. Ain't nobody perfect, and you don't owe no stranger no truth. So if they come prying into your business, I'm all about lying to a person right in their face when you in my business and don't belong in my business. But to just be downright deceptive about like serious matters and in a relationship with someone you really care, that's being cut all the way out. Someone is trusting their intuition. If you feel like that person is a liar, if it walk like a duck, look like a duck, what is it? It act like a liar, and you found multiple instances of them being inconsistent, and then they don't want to face up to it. They guilty. It ain't all that. Well, without a shadow of a doubt, we not doing none of that, because this ain't no fucking court of law where you need to go back and forth with somebody about anything. Make the decisions, make the cuts, and that's the level that a lot of people are on right now, raising the standards within themselves, outside of themselves, and within their relationships. Not allowing any old people to come kick it at y'all house. Not allowing your man to go and be giving money to save family members who are able-bodied and can do it themselves. Not allowing your woman to be used as a taxi for somebody who you can walk, or you can take the city bus. the comfort and the stability that you work for yourself. You don't owe that to nobody. And that may have been something, that may have been why somebody jumped off the porch early. It's like family members thinking that you have to go out and do something for them. I'm getting like a young man, a man who, or in his younger years, had to grow up fast and didn't really learn to develop like emotionally, because it was like as soon as, you know, his voice started changing, he was like, you a man, you need to go to work to take care of this family. He's still a child. 13, 14-year-old. He don't need to be working to take care of no family. He need to be in school. And you need to still be cooking for them and making sure they get good sleep. Like, it's still a child. Very much so a child. I don't care how tall they is. I don't care how broad their shoulders are. That's a child. Young boys get that a lot. They have a lot of emotional unavailability because their mama only wanted them to just work and bring money in the house. She didn't focus on nurturing them until the time that he was ready to go out and bring money into the house. It was like, quick, get money as fast as you can and bring it home, quick. That's a situation with somebody. Somebody mama ain't shit. Or somebody mama always wants something. She ain't never satisfied with something. So that became their mission. Just run, 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 go, 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 go. It's like finally they got to a place where they're able to have some stability. It could be thanks to the soulmate union, or whatever they done for themselves. Maybe they finally moved away from them, or it could even be sometimes, you know, I'm talking about time to sit. Being in that slammer. It's something about this, a situation where you're able to sit with your thoughts and really think back on the course of your life and identify, what was it that was tripping me up? Who was it that was tripping me up? You, your counterpart, and the couples. It's like people are coming to that remembrance, that enlightenment. Oh, I know what they were doing now. I need to leave these type of people alone. And bam, you asserting your will now. You pattern recognition. You recognize them when they walk up to you with all that deceptive practices and throwing a rock and hiding their hand and saying one thing this day and another thing another day. You just decide you don't have time for it. You go ahead and call that judgment. Get them out your face. You're going to have a healthier relationship. For those who are not yet in a relationship, it'll only bring your soulmate in quicker when you stop wasting time with people who are going to play in your face. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll see you on the next one.